continue from where we had left last time. Why the infant child mortality rate is so high? Medical, sociological, psychological, and maybe anthropological, everybody studied. But a psychologist, sociologists and psychologists, they joined and they had a team and they inquired the feeding mothers how do they feed the children and at what time do they leave and at what time they do come, and they have a lengthy interview on their mobility and their practice and their behaviors. And to their surprise, they found after feeding the child, they just leave it and they, as I told you, they just leave it and they just moved out. And the child is feeling a lack of warmth, support, and affection. Affection is one which really makes people so comfortable. But affection need not be expressed or put it in the verbal form. It may be even feeling form, sensory form. Yes. Now this, after a lengthy details, they found the newborn children were fed, and after some time, some of the elder children were also fed. But all of a sudden, why they died? This was a puzzle that they could not come out. And the data collected by, as I told you about the sociologists and psychologists and some other practitioners, they came to know the contact hours of the mother and child and the contact nature of the mother and child are poor in nature. That means they mechanically feed the child, mechanically leave the child and go. They do not know the love, affection, and warmth, support. Most of these phrases that we use were not familiar to them. That's one of the reasons they expressed. And that's why, even if you see in the, maybe I'm not sure whether it happens now. Previously, I used to see in some movies or even people around or the neighborhood, after feeding the child, they put on the child on the shoulder and they give a lap. And sometimes the child will say, "Bow," some kind of gas will come out. And the child now comes very closer, put the hand somewhere, and make sure that the child is in a comfortable zone. Because at that age, the rods and cones were not developed. And without the perfection of the rods and cones, vision is imperfect. So the child needs more support, warmth, and somehow or other, the person who has identified or who has designed this method is not known, but the practice is wonderful. That is why the children are put on the shoulder and they give some kind of patting. And this pat gives a kind of reassurance to the child, "Hey, I am here, don't worry." And the child responds by means of some nonsensical syllables, but the expression is, "Hey, thank you, I got you. Now I am comfortable. Now we could be able to sail through. I am with you." Oh my God. For these things, no verbal communication is used, but all these things are happening through a non-verbal mode of operation. And to our surprise, we could find those children who were given a better warmth, support, touch, and a feedback were comfortable, lived healthy. Those children who are deprived of those were finding it difficult to cope with, and this has made an impact on the lifestyles of several people in several countries. Fine. Now, today it is totally different. Maybe I am talking about a couple of years. decades back, 30, 40 years back, 50 years back, then this kind of the what do you call the kind of attachment, emotional trust is possible only with the right type of parental care. This has happened, and that is one good thing. Later, the theorists, even our Rick Fromm, the person who talked about this talked about the alternate psychology or the individual psychology, Alter Adler. Many people talked about many things, and all these things are put together to make take care of people. People will live long. Okay,